Picture this. You walk through your front door after the worst day at work, and your dog is there bouncing off the walls like you just returned from a 5-year space mission. Meanwhile, your cat gives you a brief glance from the couch and goes right back to grooming their paw. Now here's the weird part. That tiny acknowledgement from your cat somehow feels more genuine than your dog's full body celebration. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Today we're diving into something that might sound controversial to dog lovers everywhere. We're talking about why sometimes the love that seems too easy to get doesn't feel as valuable as the love we have to earn. And before you start typing angry comments, I love dogs too. This isn't about which pet is better, it's about human psychology and how we perceive affection. By the end of this video, you'll understand why scarcity can make something feel more precious, and how this applies way beyond just our pets. So stick around because this gets really interesting. Let me start with a story that perfectly captures what I'm talking about. Last month, I was pet sitting for my neighbor who is both a golden retriever named Max and a gray tabby cat called Shadow. Max would follow me everywhere, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, even just moving from one room to another. He'd bring me his toys, rest his head on my lap, and give me those classic puppy dog eyes every few minutes. Shadow, on the other hand, spent most of the first day hiding under the bed. When she finally came out, she'd sit across the room just watching me. On day 3, something magical happened. Shadow jumped onto the couch where I was reading and curled up next to my leg. I'm not kidding when I say my heart melted more in that moment than during all of Max's enthusiastic greetings combined. But why did that happen? The answer lies in something psychologists call the scarcity principle. When something is rare or hard to obtain, our brains automatically assign it higher value. Think about it in other areas of your life. A compliment from someone who rarely gives them hits different than praise from someone who tells everyone they're amazing. Getting into an exclusive club feels more special than joining something anyone can access. The same principle applies to pet affection. Dogs have been bred for thousands of years to be people pleasers. They've evolved to read human emotions, respond to our moods, and seek our approval constantly. This isn't their fault, it's literally in their DNA. We selected for these traits because we wanted loyal, loving companions. Cats, however, were never fully domesticated in the same way. They chose to live with humans more than we chose them. Even today, house cats retain much of their wild independence. They don't need us for emotional regulation the way dogs do. This creates a completely different dynamic. When your dog greets you with excitement, part of your brain knows this happens every single day. It's predictable, reliable, and consistent. But when your typically aloof cat decides to show affection, it feels like winning the lottery. You weren't expecting it, you didn't demand it, and you certainly can't force it. That unexpectedness triggers a stronger emotional response. Let me share another example that really drove this home for me. I have a friend who owns a husky named Luna and a Maine Coon cat called Sage. Luna is the definition of a Velcro dog, always touching, always following, always seeking attention. Sage spends most of his time in sunny spots around the house, doing his own thing. My friend told me that Luna's constant affection sometimes feels overwhelming. She loves Luna deeply, but there are days when the neediness feels more like obligation than genuine connection. But when Sage chooses to sit with her during a movie or sleep on her bed, it feels like a gift. She didn't have to do anything to earn Luna's love, it's just always there. But Sage's affection feels chosen, deliberate, and therefore more meaningful. Now, I want to be clear about something important. This doesn't mean dog love is fake or that cats are better pets. Both types of affection are real and valuable in different ways. Dog love offers comfort, consistency, and emotional support that many people desperately need. There's something beautiful about having a living being who's genuinely excited to see you every single day. That reliability can be healing, especially for people dealing with depression, anxiety, or loneliness. Cat affection, on the other hand, offers validation and a sense of being chosen. It's less about emotional support and more about feeling worthy of attention from an independent creature. The key insight here isn't about pets at all, it's about human psychology and how we value different types of relationships. We tend to take consistent love for granted while treasuring the love we have to work for. This shows up everywhere in human relationships too. Think about friendships where someone is always available versus friends who are harder to pin down. Often, we end up valuing the time with the busier friend more highly. Or consider romantic relationships. The partner who's always texting, always available, always eager to please might start to feel less exciting than someone who maintains some mystery. This isn't healthy relationship advice. By the way, consistency and reliability are actually crucial for strong partnerships. But it does explain why we sometimes feel this way. Our brains are wired to notice and value scarcity. It's an evolutionary leftover from times when resources were limited and competition was fierce. Rare things often meant valuable things, rare foods, rare shelter locations, rare mating opportunities. So when we encounter rare affection, even from a pet, it triggers those same ancient reward pathways. Here's where it gets really interesting though. This scarcity bias can actually teach us something valuable about appreciation. Many dog owners have told me they started appreciating their pets' love more after understanding this concept. Instead of taking those daily greetings for granted, they began seeing them as genuine expressions of joy and attachment. The love didn't change, their perspective did. The same thing can happen with human relationships. When you recognize that someone's consistent presence and affection is actually a choice they make every day, it becomes more precious. Your partner choosing to come home to you every night is just as meaningful as your cat choosing to sit in your lap. The difference is in how we frame it. But let's get back to our furry friends for a moment. I think there's something else at play here too. Cat affection often feels more mutual and less desperate. When a cat chooses to be near you, it doesn't feel like they need something from you. They're not looking for validation, treats, or constant reassurance. They're simply enjoying your company in that moment. Dog affection, while genuine, often comes with an undercurrent of need. They want your attention, your approval, your interaction. This neediness can sometimes make their love feel conditional, even though it's not. It's like the difference between someone spending time with you because they enjoy your company versus someone spending time with you because they can't stand being alone. Both scenarios involve real affection, but one feels more validating than the other. I experienced this perfectly last week. I was having a rough day and feeling pretty sorry for myself. My sister's dog, Benny, sensed my mood and wouldn't leave my side. He kept bringing me toys, licking my hand, and trying to cheer me up. It was sweet, but it also felt like he was working hard to fix my emotional state. Later that evening, their cat Oliver just came and sat next to me on the porch. He didn't try to cheer me up or fix anything. He just existed in my space, calm and present. That quiet companionship felt more comforting in the moment because it didn't come with any pressure or expectations. Oliver wasn't trying to manage my emotions, he was just being there. This highlights another aspect of why cat affection can feel more genuine. It often comes without strings attached. Dogs, bless their hearts, usually want something in return for their affection: playtime, treats, walks, or at least acknowledgement. Cats more often give affection purely because they feel like it in that moment. But here's the thing I find most fascinating about all of this. The cats that feel most special to us are often the ones that found some middle ground. Not the cats that ignore us completely, and not hypothetical cats that acted like dogs. The cats we treasure most are the ones that maintain their independence but choose us anyway. They set boundaries, they have their own personalities, but they also form genuine bonds. This probably explains why stories about antisocial cats who finally warm up to someone are so compelling. We love the narrative of earning trust and affection from an independent creature. It mirrors what we want in human relationships too, people who choose us not because they're desperate for any connection, but because they genuinely value who we are. Now, before all the dog lovers completely write me off, let me say this. Some of the most meaningful pet relationships I've witnessed have been with dogs. But they tend to be the relationships where the human didn't take the dog's love for granted. Where they recognized that even though the dog's affection was freely given, it was still a choice and a gift. The problem isn't dog love itself, it's when we stop noticing it because it's always there. So what's the takeaway from all this? Whether you're a dog person, a cat person, or you love both, the real insight is about appreciating the love you have. Scarcity might make something feel more valuable, but consistency has its own deep worth. That dog who greets you every day is choosing joy every single time they see you. That cat who finally trusts you enough to curl up nearby is sharing their most vulnerable state. Both are gifts, just wrapped differently. The next time your dog gets excited to see you, try to see it through fresh eyes. They're not programmed robots. They're choosing to express love in the way that comes most naturally to them. And the next time your cat ignores you, don't take it personally. When they do choose to show affection, you'll appreciate it all the more. What do you think? Are you team dog, team cat, or somewhere in between? Have you ever noticed yourself valuing rare affection more than consistent love? Drop a comment below and let me know about your own experiences with pet personalities. And if this video made you see your furry friends a little differently, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into the weird ways our brains work. Because understanding why we feel what we feel is the first step to appreciating all the love in our lives. See you in the next video.